Hello again, guys. It's Ego Chair here, back to another video on the channel. This is like 1 a.m. when I'm recording this video right now. So if I fall asleep in the middle of it, I'm just gonna edit that shit out. So let's get straight into this video. This is what if Naruto destroyed the Leaf Village. So this is a short series, pretty much. I hope you enjoy it. We're gonna start this off with Naruto being 4 years old. Naruto is immensely hated by the Leaf Villagers. They beat him up. They torture him pretty much. Today, it's the 10th of October, pretty much the birthday of one Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto, pretty much, does not know what's going to happen today. He's not even sure if he's gonna make it out alive. He's not even sure if he's gonna survive. You know, despite all that, the boy heads out, Naruto heads out of his apartment, heading over, into the city. As he's going in, suddenly he gets grabbed by a bunch of villagers. They drag him into an alleyway across the street. They begin to beat him up. After Naruto gets beaten up, he gets stabbed with kunai, shuriken, senbon, all sorts of things, even katanas. At best, they stab him in the back. They then take Naruto pretty much and crucify him, like what they did to Jesus. Pretty much, they crucify him on a cross. Then they light him up with fire jutsus, burning the shit out of the boy. Naruto, through all this, is awake. He's feeling all this pain, all this trauma, all this hatred is building within him. You know, the third Hokage and his Ambo eventually arrive. They take Naruto, take him to the hospital. They start to heal him up. Naruto, thanks to the QB chakra, is still alive, and he's still going to be alive. Third Hokage, seeing this, decides to seal away these memories of Naruto, and he does so. He asks Inuichi to seal the memories away, which is a very bad idea, since the seal might break. But Inuichi still seals the memories away. Time skip. 12-year-old Naruto. Naruto this whole time has been training in secret. Slowly the memories of what happened that night have been coming back to him, bit by bit. Also, the QB was also helping in the process, bringing back such painful memories. Naruto no longer, was the kind, loving boy. He was now cold towards everyone. But, as a Twiruzen, he would fake it. Fake being the happy, the go-lucky blonde. Fake around everyone else. So they wouldn't think of him as getting smarter, or it would become a pain in the ass for him. Naruto, was heading to the academy for his graduation exam today. As he heads out to the academy, people are looking down on the boy. Pretty much, they don't expect anything to come from him. They then head, Iruka then begins the test. Mizuki gives out the papers. Naruto finds a genjutsu on his paper, but since he's smarter, he cancels out the genjutsu immediately and writes all the answers correctly. He hands over his paper personally to Iruka, pretty much. That honors the shit out of Mizuki. They then move on to the kunai and shuriken throwing. Naruto looks at his weapons and sees, they're not sharp enough. He then tells Iruka that these weapons are not sharp enough, pretty much. As Iruka then takes out another spare set, of kunai and gives it to Naruto. Naruto scores a 12 in kunai, which is pretty much the highest score, not seen after Itachi Uchiha, pretty much the prodigy of the Uchiha clan, who slayed his entire clan in one single night, for unknown reasons. They then move on to the next test. They do, the substitution jutsu. They do the clone jutsu pretty much, as well as what's this? I'm not sure what this other jutsu is. You guys might know what it is, but I don't know it. The Shinsuen, I think. So when it's now Naruto's turn to go up, Naruto does all these jutsus except for the shadow clone. Instead of doing like the holographic clone, Naruto makes an actual replica. Naruto had discovered the shadow clone on his own while training. He had seen that the minor clone jutsu of the academy was being overloaded by the high amount of chakra he had within him, which was too much for Naruto to control the jutsu, so the jutsu would eventually blow up in his face. Naruto passes these exams, but Mizuki still approaches him. Mizuki, still tells Naruto the plan, and Naruto still steals the scroll of sealing. But Naruto, being a genius he is, he copies down the whole scroll of sealing pretty much. He also finds a seal. And the seal, Naruto then opens it up and sees, two letters, one from Kushina Uzumaki and one from Minato Namikaze, all addressed to one person, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto, seeing this as this is his name, pretty much, he then begins to read these letters. As he reads them, he finds out, about his parents, that, about, how they sealed the QB within him. This only fosters the hatred Naruto has for these people. They're supposed to treat him like a hero. They're supposed to regard just Naruto's, parents' last wish. Naruto is so, he's so angry, so mad, There's one thought in his mind: I need to destroy this village. It's an accursed stain which just needs to be erased. Naruto thinks to himself. Naruto then says, but I'm not strong enough. I need to train myself to become stronger. So Naruto then also finds some of his parents' techniques as well as the location of his parents' house. Naruto immediately, takes out the key, which was a three-pronged kunai, which his parents left for him. All of the wealth of the Namikaze clan is stored into the Namikaze compound, which, was locked away by Minato when he gave these scrolls to Hiruzen. Only Naruto's chakra was only able to unlock these scrolls. Naruto, the old thing with Iruka and Mizuki still happens, as Mizuki tells Naruto that he's the demon, pretty much, and he has the cube still inside of him. Naruto, doesn't even wait. He goes and kills Mizuki with no remorse in his eyes. The third Hokage thinks, something is changing within Naruto, but I'm not sure what it is. He doesn't know it himself. He still remembers the night of the seals when Naruto was 4 years old. That was one of his biggest regrets, stealing away the boy's memories. And if the boy ever found out about it, he would foster his hatred and destroy this place. He doesn't think to himself. So Naruto still is assigned to Team 7, pretty much with Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke. They still do the same thing with Naruto falling behind because Naruto doesn't want to show his real skills. So, Naruto heads over, after like the test, he heads over to the Namikaze compound and unlocks it pretty much. As he heads inside, he sees a beautiful compound. It just looks like, something, smaller than the Hyuga clan, As he goes inside, he unlocks the door and goes straight to the library, not even wasting time. He then creates a bunch of shadow clones which have to go around the house and explore. Naruto goes to the library, where he brushes some of his blood pretty much, as he enters the library. He finds thousands of scrolls, Naruto, then finds a scroll, which is like a clone scroll, but he then also finds out the secret of the shadow clone technique, which Naruto is known for. Naruto then, creates a bunch of clones, since he has got large chakra reserves, which are right now currently on 4 Joules worth. So they're on 4 Joules worth of chakra reserves. Naruto creates, using like 3 Joules much chakra, and leaves the clones to read these techniques and master them. Naruto heads over back to his apartment and pretends as if nothing has happened. He continues to do everything the same as in canon with Team 7. Up until they're given the C-rank mission. As they're given the C-rank mission, it's only been 2 months you've passed. Naruto has already mastered the Rasengan pretty much and has advanced it with the elemental manipulation thanks to his father's notes. Naruto also knows how to flash, from kunai to kunai thanks to the Raishin or Jutsu pretty much, since Naruto has big brain. Naruto has also, been doing some underground trading, to increase his money and capital pretty much. So, when he heard about the C-rank mission of going to Wave, Naruto initially sent his clones to scout the area. When they're given the mission, everything happens the same, with Kakashi getting trapped by Zabuza in the water prison, Naruto and Sasuke teaming up to take him out. Kakashi eventually passes out as they head over to Tazuna's house, where they met with Tazunami. I know I skipped a lot of shit, but this is my what if I do what I want. Continuing on the story, Naruto when they arrive at Tazunami's house, or Tazuna's house to be exact, Naruto immediately creates a few clones which have to head to Gato's hideout immediately. As they head over to Gato's hideout, they begin, to check out the place, seeing, if there's anything, worth taking. Then they find, Gato counting his money in his safe pretty much, which they then dispel, notifying Naruto. Naruto, then decides to that, when they're gonna confess against Zabuza, pretty much he's gonna take all of Gato's wealth, pretty much. Why you're asking why Naruto's gonna take Gato's wealth, pretty much is pretty easy. Naruto's going to, be investing in something. The secret project of Naruto was rebuilding the Whirlpool village. Naruto had come across, the details of the Whirlpool village, and reading his mother's scrolls, it was his mother's diary. She's always had a hope for rebuilding that place. So, Naruto also learned about a forbidden jutsu pretty much, which can be used to resurrect people from the dead back to, to complete life. So that's the jutsu Naruto is hoping he might revive all the Uzumakis with, pretty much. I know you guys might be like, hey, there's no jutsu like that, pretty much, yeah, it's going to be a jutsu, so fuck off. So, continuing on with the story. Naruto's project is rebooting Whirlpool Village and he is to become the Kage of it. He had already revived, a few people pretty much just to test out the jutsu, and those people have already sworn loyalty to Naruto and are helping, in rebooting of the place. Naruto, still waits for Kakashi to wake up as, Tasuna's grandson still does the same shit, but Naruto still gets angry, and goes out pretty much, which Kakashi takes notice of, but he doesn't care pretty much. He then takes Sasuke to train pretty much. After training with Sasuke, they then continue the same thing. Naruto still finds out about Haku pretty much. He learns about Haku pretty much. Naruto finds out that Haku is actually a girl. That's what if Haku is a girl, and Naruto and Haku actually go closer. Naruto then tells Haku that in their next altercation she shouldn't die pretty much. Which Haku is like, what? And Naruto then says, I know it's you. You're the one you're the fake hunter ninja pretty much. So in our next altercation, do not die pretty much. Naruto says to her, is Haku nods her head pretty much and heads back to Zabuza. When she meets up with Zabuza pretty much as they didn't prepare for their next meeting. Time skip a week has passed. Team 7 already learned tree walking, which Naruto already knew, but he pretended to fail on purpose. So Sakura kept on doing the same thing. Sasuke took him a long time. Naruto took him the longest time pretty much. For Sakura it was only a matter of minutes. Sasuke it was a day. Naruto it was 3 days to learn tree climbing. After the exercise they then moved on to water walking, which was pretty simple for all of them pretty much. Since they mastered the tree walking exercise it was much easier. But they had drowned for a good term of tries, honestly. So it's now time for the altercation on the great on Tasuna's Great Bridge pretty much. As the fight still breaks out, the same thing with Kakashi fighting Zabuza and Naruto and Sasuke fighting Haku pretty much. Sasuke gets incapacitated by Haku using his sandbar. Naruto just turns Naruto since he already knows who Haku is pretty much. But Naruto then does the next best thing. Since he's been reading about his father's seals and stuff, he then heads over to where Sasuke is. As he arrives to where Sasuke is, he then runs to Ensu's and says, bloodline transfer jutsu, he says. As he glows is enveloped in purple chakra, and so does Sasuke. So this bloodline transfer jutsu is pretty much a jutsu used to copy bloodlines, pretty much. So Naruto initially copied the Sharingan from Sasuke. He then goes to Aqua and does the same thing and copies the ice release from her pretty much since he knocked her out. Naruto then put a chakra restriction seal on Haku as well as some other seals. So Gato still pulls up, but Naruto is already ahead. Naruto had already sent out his clones the moment he came out of the house from sleeping. He had already sent out his clones to go to Gato's hideout. With the clones have arrived at Gato's hideout and have opened the safe. With the petty seals which are there, they've opened up the safe and seen what money is inside. They then take most of the money pretty much and leave about 2 million Ryu left in there, and they check the rest of everything that's important, all the documents including Gato Corp's company, which they fake forge Gato's signature and sign it over to Naruto, and it gets renamed to Nami Corps pretty much. I know it's ironical, Whirlpool Corps pretty much. Continuing on with the story, the bridge. Gato still arrives with the number of mercenaries, which with the help of Kakashi, Zabuza, and Naruto, they cut them down. Zabuza still dies, but he asks Naruto to pass his blade over to Haku pretty much and tell Haku to go back to Kiri. So Naruto still reduces Haku and gives her the executioner's blade pretty much. Naruto then gives Haku a scroll, so that they can talk to each other. This is a feature scroll not just developed by, studying sales pretty much. So Haku already knew that Naruto was top gang smart pretty much, So they then head back to the Leaf Village after, the altercation. The bridge is still named the Great Naruto Bridge since Naruto sacrificed, a lot to the bridge, and it was a fitting name to be given to such a place. So continuing on with the story, they arrive at the Leaf Village in time for the Chunin exams. They go to the Tsurukage's office where they then discuss the priorities of the Chunin exams, with all teams becoming approved, the same as in canon. So I'm gonna skip this and move on to the actual exams pretty much, where they they enter like the academy pretty much as they go for the first test. Sasuke too does his dumb shit and announces that they should drop the genjutsu. He not slaps his head mentally pretty much, thinking on how stupid this Uchiha is. This was to weak out the weaklings. Now they're gonna have to to be more weaklings pretty much. They then head upstairs, where they found out, as they enter the room, they're directed, by large amounts of killing intent. Sasuke starts to release his own killing intent, which is pretty much petty. Sakura, is shivering pretty much. Naruto doesn't even give a fuck until it's a scar and looks at Gaara in the eyes and says, so he's a Jinchuriki just like me. So guys, I forgot to say something. Pretty much Naruto and Kurama on friendly terms, and Naruto as Kurama roaming around the mindscape free. Yes, he found a way, to remove the cage. Since Minato had left instructions, on the seal pretty much, so he had removed the cage, but the seal remained locked. You don't have to ask me how I know that shit, but yes, I know it, and it happened. Continuing on, when they, arrive at the first test, the Proctor ABK still does the same shit he does. As people get eliminated, Uncle Matrashi still busts through the window, showing the flag of the Sigma sexy Uncle Matrashi, which not just chuckles at pretty much. Moving on to training round 44, everything happens the same. They sign the waivers, that if they die, it's not Kono's fault, and they get unleashed into the forest. Team 7 spends 2 days looking for another team to come across, pretty much, as they found a team from the Rain Village. As they work quick, Sakura is not even helping since he's fucking useless. Naruto and Sasuke, do their thing, pretty much, as they cut the scroll and continue heading up to the tower. But Naruto suddenly gets swallowed up by a Light Snake, but that does not Shadow Clone. Orochimaru still does the same shit, attacking Sasuke, provoking him, and bites Sasuke in the neck, giving him the curse mark. If you guys can ignore the photo, Naruto does not have a curse mark, but I just need a better ass photo for this what if video, so Naruto does not have the curse mark. If you're gonna ask that shit in the comments, he does not have a curse mark. Naruto still pops out, when Orochimaru leaves, pretty much, as he takes his team members to the tower, pretty much. When he reaches the tower, he then opens the scrolls showing Iruka, pretty much, and Iruka tells him that they're the third team to arrive. After the team of, guy from the sand and the team from the cloud, pretty much, they were the third team. So, they then enter into the exams, pretty much, they go to their rooms and take showers. Not to send out, as clones, pretty much, so that they can, go and gather, like, some things, some important things from the Forest of Death, like, e.g. weapons, scrolls, of, from the other teams. That's what Naruto, sends scrolls to do. Naruto pretty much has been doing this process, ever since, like, the Chunin exams have been held in the Leaf Village. He does it each and every time, and he finds some pretty interesting things. And he's also been copying some other bloodlines as well from other villages, pretty much, like the advanced control in water, pretty much, which adds to his what's this his water his ice release, pretty much, which he copied from Aku. So continuing on with the story, preliminaries. All teams have arrived. A team from Kiev has arrived since the civil war has ended. So I forgot to say, Haku is also in that team. There's also a team from the Hidden Waterfall village. I'm just going to say this, all 5 great villages are there, as well as the minor villages too. This is a very big event for the Leaf Village, and secretors it is tightest. When they heard about Orochimaru attacking, they couldn't do shit about it because they know if they had to stop these exams, it would ruin the reputation of the Leaf Village beyond repair. And they are not willing to risk that. So they invite back all their freaking forces from everywhere and bring them back, except for those who are undercover in other villages. Hiruzen also equips Danzo's route as well, so he can guard the village, which Danzo, is ecstatic about getting his program put back, but they're now under the direct orders of the Hokage, pretty much. Preliminaries begin. First match. I don't know what the first match of the preliminaries will be. Holy shit. First match. Shikamaru versus a random person. Shikamaru wins. Second match. Sasuke Uchiha versus Yori. Sasuke beats the person. Third match. Hinata Yuga versus Neji Yuga. Neji beats the shit out of Hinata. This time Hinata doesn't say shit since he keeps to himself, he doesn't say anything. Hinata still idolizes Naruto pretty much, but Naruto doesn't give a fuck about it. He doesn't give a shit if she idolizes him or not. All the matches score the same. The other teams still pass. From the cloud, the tutors Jinjuriki as well as some Kari pretty much passes the exam. Next person, Fu passes the exam thanks to her bugs. As there's the stone, Kurotsuchi passes the exam. From the mist, Haku passes the exam, saying in passing. Final battle, Naruto versus Kiba. This time Kiba fucks up and he then tells Naruto that's why his parents fucking died. They were probably named as shinobi. He's weak, he can't do anything correct and even do a fucking clone jutsu pretty much. Kiba is talking smack about Naruto, and Naruto gets pissed, and for the first time in 5 years or 12 years, the villagers feel that chakra, the demonic chakra which was said to be locked away. The gate is unleashed. Naruto sucks up 3 tails worth of the demonic chakra, which is a freaking shocker to Hiruzen that the boy can already master 3 tails worth of chakra. As well as Jiraiya is watching these exams, looking at his godson, is like, interesting. Naruto then goes on to beat the shit out of Kiba. He then takes out a kunai, infuses the Nanto's chakra into it, cuts Kiba's hands off, cuts Kiba's leg off, tosses Kiba to the ground, and launches a barrage of clones at him, beating Kiba black and blue. The Naruto, forcefully gets restrained by Yamato, pretty much, or slaps by Jiraiya, who slaps a seal on his forehead since Naruto was about to go into a rampage. As Naruto is then taken to the hospital so he can get healed of his injuries. Todokage is shocked that Naruto brutalized a person for speaking off in his parents, telling him that he was weak. It then clicks to Todokage. Naruto knows whose parents are. Shit, Hiruzen says and curses in his mind. How could he have been so caught up and not notice the boy? He doesn't think to himself. The preliminaries end on a good note apart from Kiba getting damaged beyond repair. Naruto is taken to hospital with Tsumi of the Inuzuka clan. The Inuzuka clan are fucking pissed right now because the Nine Tails chakra destroyed the heir to their clan. They have no heir. So they're pissed about it. They promise they're gonna make Naruto pay. And knowing what they're saying, they're gonna make Naruto pay tenfold for what he has done. So a news leaked about what happened. The villagers went into a frenzy. Pretty much, they went into a freaking frenzy. So a lot of shit, bruv. The villagers went into a freaking frenzy, bruv. So continuing on with my lovely story, which I hope you're liking. I have to take a break too. Continuing on the story. Jiraiya is then assigned by the Hokage to take Naruto and train him to master the power of the Nine Tails, since he knows these exams are to show the military might of the Leaf Village. Which Jiraiya is hesitant at first, but Hiruzen tells him that, since he has the key, he can adjust the seal to suit, Naruto. Make sure he can control at least 5 tools worth of the chakra. That would be enough to convince the other villagers that the leaf is still on top and stronger, pretty much. Which Jiraiya, wakes for Naruto to wake up and tells Naruto there's gonna be his teacher and training him. Naruto asks about why Kakashi is not training him and says Kakashi says he's training Sasuke, since Sasuke is the only one with the Sharingan. Naruto asks about Sakura, but Sakura failed, since she got beaten up by Ino. So, Ino was more serious in this. And, she didn't have the slight thing for Sasuke. So, yeah. Continuing on with my bloody story, Jiraiya takes Naruto to start training, pretty much. Naruto and Jiraiya do not have that bonding moment, sort of sensei to student. As the training pushes on, the 1 month time period moves. Naruto has been taught the Rasengan by Jiraiya, which Naruto already knew. Jiraiya taught Naruto, to control the QB chakra, which Naruto almost killed Jiraiya, but Naruto can now control at least 5 tools of the chakra, which Naruto already could do, since Naruto was in contact with the Nine Tails pretty much since he was around 6 years old. He talked to the Nine Tails. Flashback, 6-year-old Naruto. Naruto just come back from a brutal beating and was in hospital. Naruto was then, woke up in his mindscape and sees the Nine Tails. He heads over to where the Nine Tails is and sees that the Nine Tails pretty much is crying. Oh, the Nine Tails is in a form of a woman. Naruto then goes to her and says, there, why are you crying? She then says, it's all my fault, if I didn't attack the Leaf Village, your life wouldn't be like this, pretty much, he says. As Naruto then says, notice that, she has like 9 tails behind her. And then says, don't worry, since, you're the QB, don't worry, I don't blame you, since, you're being controlled, she told Naruto the whole story. She's shocked that Naruto is quick to forgive her, but, she accepts his forgiveness either way and they become friends. She also helps Naruto train in all his shoots and everything, pretty much, since, she likes the boy. And, she prefers Naruto over many things. Fucking it was only 24 minutes in and I've already covered lots of ground. Shit. But continuing on with the story. Without any further ado, continuing on. Naruto, after his training with Jiraiya, heads back to the Leaf Village. Naruto has already signed the summoning contract of the Toads, but when Naruto signing it, he slapped another seal on the summoning contract, which is to erase his name when Naruto, decides to go rogue away from the village, pretty much, which he plans to do after the tuning exams. So it's not the final of the tuning exams. Everyone is trained, everyone is prepared. The exams begin. First match, Shikamaru versus Temari. Shikamaru wins, since Shikamaru is using his big brain. Other following matches go the same way. Naruto versus Neji Ayuga. Naruto pretty much, with his training with Jiraiya, does not give Neji a chance to strike his chakra points. He totally decimates the flow with Neji since he slapped a paralysis seal on Neji, when Neji wanted to palm strike him. After that punch, Neji became totally useless since he could not use his arms. He had to capitalize on this and use his shadow clones to beat Neji and slammed Rasengan into him, knocking Neji the fuck out. People were impressed by this, Even the daimyo was smiling, intrigued about this boy. The daimyo then saw something. That blonde hair, that face, that jawline. He is the son of the fourth, isn't he? He thinks to himself and smiles. Seems the legacy of the Korei Senyu still is there. He thinks to himself. Continuing on with the story. Most matches move the same until the final round. Naruto Uzumaki of the Leaf versus Yujiro Ni from the Cloud versus Fu from the Waterfall versus Subaru Nogara from the Sand Village. Immediately, they dash to where Naruto is, since Naruto is the strongest. Naruto is forced into a corner, but he ducks. Fu launches bugs at Naruto, which Naruto launches back, with the water jutsu, pretty much knocking the bugs out of his way. He then avoids Ichigo's slashes as well as Gaara's sand spikes. Naruto then sees that these three are teaming up to take Naruto out so they can fight amongst themselves, since Naruto is the strongest and is the most powerful child beast. Naruto currently has the full Kurama spirit within him, right now. I forgot to tell you one detail. Once Naruto reaches 16 years of age, he will become the new Ten Tails. Why I say Naruto becomes the new Ten Tails? Naruto was exposed to the Naruto's chakra at an early age, and these chakras have been growing ever since. Even at a rate that the Naruto's cannot even control anymore. So it is only logical that Naruto gains such power. Continuing on with my video, you're probably wondering why Naruto hasn't destroyed the village yet. Just wait, his time will come. It will come in due time. Continuing on with the story. As they continue fighting, Naruto is forced into a corner. Naruto ducks a punch from Fu, and he's immediately sliced by Ichigo's claws. Naruto then enters his two-tails cloak, or one-tails cloak. As he dashes off, he slams a fist into Fu's stomach, putting the five finger seal on her, stopping it from transforming into a Biju. He rushes at Ichigo and does the same thing, knocking them both the fuck out as they, are taken out of the stance. Naruto is then left to fight Gaara as Gaara launches his stand at him. Naruto launches a very powerful water attack at Gaara, as Gaara then launches its hand to Tsunami. Naruto with no choice uses his Hydron release, which he copied from Haku, as well as his Sharingan, which is under the Genjutsu, which has 3 Temoi, pretty much. Naruto then uses his, Ice Tsunami, freezing all the sand, as he then slams a fist into it, as the sand disintegrates, pretty much. Since Naruto used ice and sand, the sand froze, and Naruto, shattered the ice, disintegrating the sand. Naruto rushes over where Gaara is and punches him, taking him up. So, Sasuke is supposed to fight the one who wins between these two as the final, matchup. Naruto and Gaara continue clashing as Orochimaru launches the attack on the village. As pretty much, all Kages are there. As, all the Kages are trapped into the barrier as old Kages from their various villages, like the first Okage, second, third Okage, the first, second, third Raikage, first Tsuchikage, the fourth Kazekage as well as Yagura pretty much was also revived there, using the Edo Tensei, and they start clashing pretty much with everyone. All the Kages then announce, that we're fighting for the leaf pretty much. As well as, their forces begin also, clashing up, helping out around. Yuji and Fu have been woken up and their skills have been released, by the help of Kakashi, since Kakashi knew some jutsu. Jiraiya right now is on a big ass toad as he's fighting some snakes. Naruto, dashes following Gaara as his teammates do the same thing, following Naruto. They then arrive at a suitable place. Gaara then transforms into his semi-perfect Shikaku mode. Naruto, seeing this as there is no time, he rushes over to Gaara, trying to seal his seal shut. But he's too late, as Gaara explodes into a big ball of sand, eventually turning into Shukaku. Shukaku then says, "Yes, motherfuckers, I'm back, bitches." Pretty much Shukaku's attitude is he's happy of being let out. He immediately spots Naruto and says, "Kyubi Jinchuriki, I have to kill you." As he rushes over to where Naruto is, he throws some of his desert shuriken or sand shuriken at Naruto, as well as high compressed amounts of air or wind bullets at Naruto, which forced Naruto to dodge. Pretty much, Naruto then runs to Ensus and summons a toad. Naruto summons Gamabunta, since Jiraiya is using Gamamaru right now, or Gamatora, I'm not sure which toad Jiraiya uses. So Gamabunta is Minato's summon, pretty much, if you guys do not know that. Naruto and Gamabunta are best buddies, pretty much. So Naruto and Gamabunta start to fight, clashing, as they're hoping they can defeat this beast before it reaches their village. Why Naruto, is not just letting Shikaku destroy the village, since Naruto wants to take revenge on his own. It's his own choice. Naruto, we now see Naruto doing the same thing as he defeats Gaara, and he inspires Gaara with his speech, the Talk no Jutsu, which is probably the strongest jutsu out there, with no question. The invasion gets quelled as the third Hokage still dies. As the third dies, pretty much, Tsunade is chosen to become his replacement, which Tsunade is to be hunted down by Jiraiya and accompanied by Naruto. Same thing happens with Itachi and Kisame coming to capture Naruto, but this time Naruto doesn't just open the door. Pretty much, Naruto gives them an explosive clone which blows up, taking both Itachi and Kisame out, but not killing them. They also, Jiraiya comes out as well as Mighty Guy. Same thing happens. Naruto continues his journey to find Tsunade with Jiraiya as they eventually arrive at Tanzuka Guy, where they find Tsunade in a bar drinking some sake. Jiraiya walks up to them and says, "Hey Tsunade, how you doing?" Same altercation with Tsunade, punching Jiraiya and refusing the job of Hokage. Naruto does not even rant about being Hokage, since which surprises Jiraiya, since he thought Naruto would try and offer something about becoming Hokage and stuff. So Naruto just grants over Jiraiya and says, "Let's go pay his age. She's not fit to become Hokage anyway." Naruto says, which pisses off Tsunade. Tsunade is pretty angry. She's since such a bright challenging her. She, after some altercations, with Naruto being forced to eventually do the Rasengan. The Rasengan. I said the Rasengan. Shit. People gonna hate me for this. With Naruto being forced to master the Rasengan, so that she goes off on. Tsunade then accepts. The whole altercation with Orochimaru still happens, since we all know that it would. There is no stopping it, but Orochimaru escapes. As well as his assistant Kabuto. We now go to Sasuke. Sasuke has been approached by the Sound 4, as they do the same thing in canon. Seeing Sasuke can get more power, and they fight Sasuke and they beat the shit out of Sasuke with their Curse Marks 2 stages. Sasuke, seeing this, needs more power. He wants that power, and eventually does the same shit he does. He deserts the village. So Tsunade already arrived and just already became Hokage. And Sakura burst into office saying that Sasuke left the village. Shikamaru is sent to organize a team to help, bring back Uchiha Sasuke. The team is organized and everything happens the same. But this time when Sakura asks Naruto to promise to bring back Sasuke, Naruto refuses and says, I cannot promise you anything, Sakura. Naruto says to Sakura, while looking directly in her eyes, which shocked Sakura since Naruto was gonna promise to bring back Sasuke. But Naruto isn't like, I don't care, Sakura, I'm not gonna promise to bring him back. He left the village on his own accord, and I do not care. Naruto says, Ziri, Sakura. You know, later Sakura reports this to Lady Tsunade, which Tsunade, finds it questionable. Pretty much, but she doesn't know what to do. She just continues on managing the same thing. Eventually, Naruto and Sasuke clash at the Valley of the End, with Naruto winning this clash, since Naruto, is much more trained, more than Sasuke. Naruto, then leaves Sasuke there. Orochimaru pops up and grabs Sasuke and dips. All of Naruto's team members eventually arrive there. Kakashi was the first to arrive, as he then says, Naruto is Sasuke. He's been taken by Orochimaru. Naruto says, and you didn't try to stop it, Kakashi screams out at Naruto. Naruto then said, how'd you expect me to fight a Sanin, Kakashi? Huh? How'd you expect me to fight a fucking Sanin? Naruto says, pissed. Kakashi then says, damn it, mission failed. Inwardly, Kakashi, was angry. So, Naruto and this clone, Kakashi and this clone of Naruto head back to the village. When they arrive, Kakashi reports the mission to the council, which the Kakashi are pissed about. They then, arrest the demon, he made Sasuke Uchiha escape. Naruto just starts chuckling, The council members are confused by this and says, you think I'm still here? Foolishes. You think I forgot about what you did to me when I was 4 years old? You think I forgot about how you burned me, how you raped me, all those evil things you did to me? You think the third Hokage stealing away my memories would prevent me from knowing? Foolish. I'm going to come back to this village after some years, and I'm going to destroy it with the help of the QB. In your awful pain, the clone says it detonates exploding, since it was an explosive clone. People were shocked. Immensely Tsunade, she didn't expect this. Tsunade then starts digging into the medical records, finding out what they did to Naruto. Upon looking at it, she's shocked. All these evil things they did to him. But she can't let Naruto destroy the village. It's like her grandfather's will, the will of fire. She cannot let Naruto do this with Naruto. Naruto is flying Raijin back, to the Hopo village, pretty much. The Hopo village pretty much is looking much better, but there's a genjutsu which prevents people from seeing what's inside, since it has been like that. Naruto just increased, the genjutsu, so that's the strength of the barrier, so that no one can get in. Not even summons, unless they're summoned from within. Naruto gets in, the place is looking very vibrant and colorful. Uzumakis are moving around with their red hair, as well as other people, which, are going around as well. Naruto had also, done a mission outside, so just scrolling, a mission. He had talked to Shion pretty much and did the same thing. Since that shit happened, after and she put in, but this it happened earlier. Naruto helped out Shion since she came personally to request the mission. Naruto helped her out. At first, she doubted Naruto's strength, but Naruto showed his strength and proved, the superiority, which gained him an alliance with Shion, as well as Shion workers helped to build back Naruto's village. So, Naruto and Shion are dating currently. But, she also knows about the QB, pretty much, since Naruto told her. Naruto and the QB are a thing. I'm not gonna tell you how that happened, since it's not important with me. So, yeah, continuing on with everything else. My story continues on. 3 years time skip. During these 3 years, Naruto has been training, pushing himself to the absolute limits. His Sharingan has matured to the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. He has control over this ice tower to the point where he does not even need to use certain signs. He can just cast out ice towers if it's second nature to him. His Sharingan has gained immense abilities since he has also an Uzumaki, it gains immense abilities. He is the perfect Susanoo. We all know that Susanoo is the body with more skin, and there's the one with skin, then there's the perfect Susanoo. But that is something above that. Naruto Susanoo has 6 arms and is tall, very tall and menacing. It makes it look like it's a fucking demon. But when Naruto pumps the golden chakra of the Nine Tails, it becomes red. It takes up an Akuma type vibe, pretty much. Naruto's abilities like Kamui, which Naruto can travel through dimensions, make himself phase through anything. Naruto says, Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, all the abilities of Sharingan, Naruto achieved them through hard training. This is the work of Kurami. Since she helped Naruto master all these abilities, since she was with Madara when Madara was training as well to master his abilities. Naruto had also cancelled the summoning pact with the Toads, pretty much, since he didn't want Jiraiya to track him or reverse summon him. So he'd cancelled the pact with them. Or the pact had been suspended, pretty much, with Naruto's name getting erased from the scroll, so they couldn't reverse summon him back. With Jiraiya has been searching around, trying to find Naruto, trying to find out what is going on with the boy. The boy's like a grandchild to him, pretty much. 3 years time skip. We now see Gaara getting kidnapped by the Akatsuki, in which the Akatsuki proceed to kidnap Gaara. A team from Konoha is then deployed, which is led by, Shikamaru, Kakashi, who is this? Sai. It's Kakashi, Sai, Sakura, as well as team Guy, pretty much. They head there. Do the same thing which Team 7 did in Canon. They arrive there at the place where the Akatsuki. They also find, Gaara's body on the dirt, pretty much. They then fight Deidara and who is this guy? Sasori of the Red Sand. Yes, they fight them, which results them in winning. Pretty much, Chio still revives Gaara since it's too young for the boy to die, and she felt pity for Gaara. She had already outlived her time, and it was time for her to retire. Not in literal sense, but yeah, what I'm trying to say, guys. So after that mission, all the events still keep moving. But one thing which comes as a shocker to all nations is the revival of the Whirlpool village. This shocks all the other nations to the max, since it's been around 16 years now. Naruto has been working tirelessly to revive this place, to bring this place to its former glory, and which he has done, since the place looks like what it was before, and even better. Well, I didn't expect you to make it this far, but if you're still there, thank you. Like, subscribe to my channel, continue on with the story. Naruto is right around his office. His office is the tallest building in the village. It goes straight up, above all other buildings in this village. Naruto cast a defensive barrier, and there are large walls pretty much. Only the skyscrapers can be seen. Inside, the village is divided into 3 states. The outer state, where most shinobi live. The inner state, where people live. Then the most inner state, where, important people are. Naruto made no mistake when he came up with this village. He made sure all control of village was given to the Kage. Under no circumstance was this power to be given to the council. Under no circumstance. He had learned this lesson from watching Hiruzen and his council, and decided that if he's ever going to make a council, he's going to be totally in control and have the final say in every decision. Which the Uzumaki leaders had no error in, since they find out it would be much more decisive and effective. There are many clans, in that place, since Naruto, rescued some clans from some different places. He found some Yuki members, some members of the Senju clan, Uchiha clan, lots of clans Naruto, has been finding over these years, pretty much. Continuing with the story, we see Jiraiya dashing through the Leaf villages. He jumps through the Okage window. As he then tells Naruto to assemble a council meeting. In the council meeting, Jiraiya then tells everyone that, the Whirlpool village has been brought back to life, which everyone is shocked about, including Danzo. Danzo is suddenly starts scheming, if he could, see who is in control and put a puppet in his place, kill the person and put a puppet in his place. What they don't know who the leader is. So then decides to send an envoy to there to seek out peace for and an alliance. But as those people arrive, they immediately sent back with threats. As they're given a scroll to give to the Akage and the council. Time skip 3 days later, when the shinobis arrive back, or it was Ambu, when they arrive back, they give another scroll. So it opens the scroll, and the scroll reads, "Dear Okage of the Bloody Leaf Village, you dare try to send and propose of an alliance after what your village did. You betrayed us too. The third Great Shinobi War. You got us killed. We were your allies, but you betrayed us. We are not in any alliance with you, and we hereby declare war on the Leaf Village." Pretty much, that's their final say. P.S. We have the Naruto's Jinchuriki, since he is one of us. Underscore, pretty much. We still all shocked. Jiraiya is shocked, so Naruto went to Uzu. So if he went to Uzu, he must then know. Jiraiya then goes right as he rushes over to where the Namikaze compound is supposed to be. When he arrives there is no Namikaze compound, it's not there. Which shocks him to the very core, since he doesn't know what's going on. So all the other villagers hear the declaration of Uzu, pretty much declaring war on the Leaf Village, which immediately Uzu gets support from the sand, the mist, the stone, as well as Kumo. Since, Uzu be powerful now, bruv, and, don't underestimate Uzumaki's with seals. So, Kono is in a bad place, he's in a rock and a hard place, and the Fire Daimyo is freaking out, since he might actually lose his country, pretty much. The Fire Daimyo then is like, what are we gonna do, pretty much, he's freaking out, and, Tori then says, we've got no choice but to go to war, which, Danzo, is smiling, war, yes. So, this war spans out pretty much. It's Konoha sending its shinobi. They first send 1,000 shinobi, for reconnaissance, but they all get killed by, not 1,000 shinobi as well. So this exchange, continues to go on, It's eventually Konoha starts to lose the edge in the war. Even though they have many talented shinobi, but they have been sleeping and training. They're not as strong as they used to be. Danzo uses this opportunity, to use his Shizuo's eye on the Fire Daimyo, as, he then declares the sixth Hokage. It's not, being booted out of office since she cannot control, she's not doing anything to help. Immediately, Danzo puts the village under lockdown, and, his Anbus, take control, pretty much. Danzo, starts to use his suicidal methods, but there's no option, he gets destroyed. He then hears that, Uzu is launching a full-scale attack in a week from, some of his spies. It gives them ample time to prepare, but is it going to be enough? With the Akatsuki has already captured the rest of the tailed beasts, except for the Ninetales. They are too pussy to go to Uzu, since they know those people with seals will fuck them up, so they're too pussy to go there. We now see, Obito, or Toby, who has the Rinnegan in his eyes. He had obtained them after killing Pain, since Pain's term was now concluded. He also, tried to kill Conrad. Conan escaped as he headed to Uzu, pretty much. So that's how Conan escaped. The rest of the Akatsuki members are still loyal to the Akatsuki. We only use, what is this? The zombie brothers, they're still alive. Since, Shikamaru was not able to kill them. Since there was no Naruto, they almost got killed by Hidan. Since, to his need to use metal threads and shit, so yeah, they had to, fall back. Kisame is still alive. Itachi is dead. What are the other members of the Akatsuki? I think the other guys are still alive, except for Itachi, Deidara, and Sasori. They are dead. As well as Nagato. So Obito then starts to prepare, the army of Setsus, to go in and try and invade Uzu and take the Naruto's Jinchuriki. But he hears about Uzu's forces declaring war and all that stuff. He started scheming his plans to take both villages out. So with Naruto's forces are currently waiting and ready to go and invade Konoha and destroy it. Naruto right now already achieved 10 worth of chakra and is now stronger than Kurami herself. Naruto also got married to Shion, but they haven't had any children. Naruto also released the Kyuubi from his body since, not released it, she got forced out since Naruto's chakra was more than hers. So Naruto could live, without it. So Naruto's form is a 10-toed fox with, two giant eyes, or the Ren Sharingan in its eyes. It looks very menacing. The fox is a god, as a coat of black and white, pretty much. At the tips of his tails are red, with flames at them. So, Naruto had already mastered this form and all the power which comes with it. It's all under his command. As you notice, most forces are making it to the leaf. They arrive at the leaf, not only, for the leaf to try and ambush them, but it doesn't work. Which puts Danzo off, his whole clashes. Uzumaki start fighting Leaf Shinobi. Suddenly, some white entities start to pop out, and start killing everyone. Which then results in the Akatsuki popping up as well as the Ghetto statue. Not seeing the Ghetto statue smash himself. It seems I can actually do it then. Naruto immediately launches chakra chains at the Ghetto statue, which are about 11 chakra chains. This change, go into the strategic place of the Ghetto statue. They stab the Ghetto statue in the eyes, as well as the hands. Naruto then starts to suck chakra from the Ghetto statue, as well as its immense life force. The Ghetto statue screams in pain, as Obito, activates his Rinnegan, pretty much, and throws those two canisters of, Naruto's chakra he had with them, which by virtue forces the Ghetto statue to evolve into the Tentos. The Tentos looking at Naruto senses, another Tentos, as he gets pissed and rushes over at Naruto. Obito is unable to control it, as they continue their immense clash. Kabuto, still under the employment of the Akatsuki, releases Madara from his grave. As Madara, goes and terrorizes the other nations, thus the beginning of the Fourth Great Shinobi War. This battle conscious region as, allies from the sand, the mist, the stone, the cloud arrive to help Naruto. As not wants how to take out the threat of the Akatsuki. Not just getting help from these people. As the battle rages on, eventually Obito becomes the 10th Jinchuriki, and he and Naruto begin to clash. Sasuke still rises to battle, and they obtain the power of the Sage of the Six Paths. The Sage is not able to sense that Naruto has that much power, since Naruto, has suppression seals on him. So the Sage does not take notice of it. Naruto gets the power, Sasuke gets, the power as well, and they start clashing, with Obito. Because of that Senjutsu chakra. The battle continues to freaking rage on, and the leaf has become totally decimated. Since the tenters at last dispatched Yodama and destroyed what remains of the leaf, only a monument with the faces of the first, the second, and the fourth remain. Heroes Instead was blown off, as well as Funagi and Danzo, which was in the making, was all destroyed. Only 3 heads are left. Madara still comes in since Obito gets defeated. Pretty much Minato as well as the other Kage still pop up and do the same thing they did. Pretty much with the help of Naruto, they do the barrier thing, which I'm not sure how the fuck they did that. Pretty much, but I would like to find out. If any of you guys know, just tell me in comments. The battle continues. Naruto and Sasuke help and take out the tailed beast from the statue. As the statue, Kakashi carries away the arm, as he does in canon, which, Obito is forced to the ground. Madara pops up and he forces Obito to the Reni Tensei on him, or the revival jutsu, which Madara then comes back to life. Madara again gets given both Sharingans, this time since Black Zetsu did not waste time, just took the eye, not even waiting for, Obito to try and do something. He took the eye immediately, as, continuing on with the story. Madara then uses the same thing. He takes back all 9 Biju since, Kurami transformed into 9 tails, he got sucked into the statue, resulting in Madara becoming the 10th Jinchuriki. Madara then launches the Internet Tsukiyomi, does the wound binding, all that stuff, but he again gets stabbed in the back with Kaguya by Blacksatsu, unleashing Kaguya's shit. I'm getting sleepy and sloppy as well. Naruto, for the part, he's happy. The leaf has been destroyed. All leaf forces have been wiped out. Naruto had secretly, taken the clans, which were salvageable. The Yamanaka clan, the Nara clan, the what's this clan? No, the Inosukas died. Uh, the Yuga clan as well. But the side branch, not the main. The main branch members died pretty much. So with the death of the main branch, the marks of slavery were erased. Since they all died, no one is there to control the marks that pump chakra to them. So they all freaking died. Naruto and Sasuke begin to fight Kaguya Otsutsuki as the battle rages on. They move to Kaguya's dimensions, but Obito is not there, he's already dead. So Kakashi, our favorite ninja, is forced to sacrifice himself for the better good. As he takes the spike which is supposed to be for Sasuke. After seeing this, it's a bit sad, but as he has to do what he has to do. Sakura, Sasuke are the only left of the leaf. The fight continues. When they're about to seal away Kaguya, Naruto tosses his chakra chin at Sasuke, wrapping around him. Sasuke is then like, "What are you doing, dope? We have to seal her away." Naruto then says, "I was never on your side." As Naruto then uses his powers and with his eyes pretty much and sucks the six-pack chakra from Sasuke, making Naruto complete. Naruto then takes out Sasuke's eyes and swaps them with his. Naruto then obtains the Rinnegan in both eyes. Naruto's Rinnegan then shifts as he turns into the Rinne Sharingan. Naruto and Kaguya begin to clash, going head to head, toe to toe. The battle rages on. The battle of legends, battle of gods. As they're clashing, Naruto, gets the drop on Kaguya as he beats Kaguya to an inch of her life. Naruto seeing that it would be useless to kill Kaguya, he then decides to do the next best thing. Slavery seal. The seal is that Naruto commands Kaguya, and she'll follow. With no hesitation, no emotion, nothing. She'll just follow his orders. Naruto frees everyone from the infinite Tsukuyomi and declares martial law. Naruto's village is in control of the world. No one objects to Naruto's ideals. Time skip. 2 years. The shinobi order is drastically improved under the leadership of the Waupu village. Waupu eventually absorbed the rest of the villages, making them into one powerful village, which banded together. Currently, Naruto is in bed with his 3 wives. Shion from the Demon Country, Haku from Mist, as well as Kaguya Otsutsuki. Naruto eventually got to learn Kaguya's side of the story, as he then accepted Kaguya, but told her, taking away chakra, is not gonna help anything. They needed to protect themselves. Which Kaguya eventually agreed, as Naruto then took the power of the Tentos from Kaguya, as then left Kaguya, just as she was. Naruto, took the Tentos power. He did not split it up, he sealed it within himself, if he ever needs to use it. Suddenly, the door to Naruto's bedroom opens up as, 3 children rush in. One child is pale, white skin. That's a girl. Her name is Koi. She's the firstborn. The second one is a boy. His name is Zabuza. Funny, right? Zabuza died in the war. Third child from Sean. You can name the third child. Mommy, mommy, Caillou says. As Kaguya smiles, it pets Caillou on the head. Hello there, Caillou. How you sleep? I slept well. Is daddy, today's the day, it's our birthday pretty much. As she then nods her head. Today, is their birthday. Also the day the whole world was unified. So Is Daddy gonna take us out their ass? Cause thumbs not their heads, reaching out to the crones, pretty much. So, guys, we've reached the end of this video. It wasn't optimal as you guys expected it to be, but this is an experiment to see if I can make shit on the fly. I don't care if you don't enjoy it or not. Like the fucking video, or else I'll make more drastic what ifs. I hope you've enjoyed my content. I'm also announcing that I might not be posting for a very long time. 3 months to be exact. I don't want to burn myself out by making content, but I'm developing other content for you guys. So I hope you're gonna enjoy it. Peace out, motherfuckers.